I had been asked by the woman if I wanted to join her team many, many times, and I said, absolutely freaking not. Like, this is, and this wasn't just like, your Mary Kay or Tupperware kind of thing. It was passion parties. So
Oh my God, fun.
yeah, so lotions, potions, things that went buzz in the night, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I don't speak in front of people, and I sure as hell am not going to speak about things like that in front of people. Um, but one day I don't even know what exactly shifted, but something told me I need to do this in order to build my confidence, get out of my comfort zone, do something different with my life. And so I joined and I spent 5 years doing that. And I did a lot of parties. I was always number one or two in sales on the team. I built my own team and I really fell in love with coaching. I had one of my leaders was a coach, and she really taught me about coaching and about, yes, you can change your mindset and law of attraction and all the things. And so I really started doing a lot of deep work on myself at that point. And just learning how you can change your brain, you can change your mindset, you can change all these different things that will attract different things, better things to you in your life. So that's kind of how I started my journey of confidence. And now I'm a confidence transformation coach, and I help women, to see that they are worthy and they have value to bring, and they can use their voices in the world to share and make changes and help other people too.
Welcome back to the Goodbye Good Girl podcast. And this is the place where we set women free. And I get to talk to amazing women who are breaking with the social programming, who are saying hell no to being well behaved, and who are here to teach us more and more about all of that. Today, I have with me Erin Summ, and she and I are both on such the same wavelength. She's remarkable. In fact, I just learned some incredible things about her. So I'm actually going to read most, if not all, of the introduction because I'm blown away. Okay, so here we go. Erin is an international confidence transformation coach. She supports women entrepreneurs and professionals to overcome their fears of being seen, criticized, unworthy, and not enough. Change limiting beliefs into empowering beliefs so they can be confident, bold, and stand in their power to create their vision for their life, business, and relationships. Yes, Queen. And that's only part of the introduction. But I'm like, yes. Um, Erin has been on her own journey from shy to confident since 2008. I mean, look at this woman. Does she look like she's like, don't look at me? No. She used to be so fearful of being seen and heard in school. The thought alone of asking a question, of being asked a question or asking a question out loud was a major anxiety. And she'd chicken out, but her vision was always bigger than her fears. I wonder if that's something about your teaching. I think Erin is the creator of the Bold, Confident You Unleashed card deck, which I've got to go get, and journal. She's the author of Stand Up and Shine, the 60-Day Confidence Discovery Journal, and co-author of Catch Your Star. Erin holds a bachelor's degree in psychology and is a certified professional coach through the Institute for Professional Excellence in Coaching. Yowza! I am so impressed and excited. And yeah, like I said, where do I get your card deck, by the way?
Oh, yes, it's on my website. You can get it. It's erinsum.com/card deck journal.
Yes, perfect, 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 perfect. Well, wow. Please tell us all about you got out of being shy.
Yeah, it's a pretty fun story. So I'll actually start at childhood. But so I used to be very shy as a child, and I would warm up eventually, but um my vision was always bigger than my fears, right? So even as a kid, I knew that I was put on the planet for a reason. I wanted to help people. I wanted to do things to help, the environment and the kids in my class and things like that. So I did things like I started a branch of the Kids for Saving Earth Club in my town, and I had meetings with classmates. Yeah, so we made solar ovens. We wrote a letter to George Bush Sr. about elephant slaughter and got a letter back. And all these fun things were written up in the newspaper. And, so I did things throughout my life. I can't remember what it was called, but, like a moderator on the school grounds where if kids were arguing or whatnot, then I would to help them solve the problem and things like that.
Solar
Um,
oven. I have to back up a second. Solar ovens? You made
yeah,
solar ovens
yes.
ahead
Yep.
of your time,
Yeah, we made
for sure.
cookies and the cookies worked, I think, but we had to cook our hot dogs in the microwave later, I think. And we're quite hot enough for that, apparently.
Fair.
But yeah, so just different things like that. In college, I started college 2 weeks before 9/11. So after that, I wanted to know how we could help, and my roommate and I found a group called Daring to Reach Equality Among Many. Dream was the acronym, and we did a lot of canvassing on campus, and were voted or named the I don't know top residents of the month or something for doing things
Wow.
like that. So there was always times where I was putting myself out there, even though I was scared. Um, and so after college, I graduated with a psychology degree, and I went on to work in a group home with foster kids, which I loved, but was very stressful for a number of reasons. But at the time, I had gone to a few network marketing parties, and I had been asked by the woman if I wanted to join her team many, many times, and I said, absolutely freaking not. Like, this is, and this wasn't just like, your Mary Kay or Tupperware kind of thing. It was passion parties. So
Oh my God, fun.
yeah, so lotions, potions, things that went buzz in the night, right? So I was like,
Yeah.
absolutely not. I don't speak in front of people, and I sure as hell am not going to speak about things like that in front of people. Um, but one day I don't even know what exactly shifted, but something told me I need to do this in order to build my confidence, get out of my comfort zone, do something different with my life. And so I joined, and I spent 5 years doing that. And I did a lot of parties. I was always number one or two in sales on the team. I built my own team, and I really fell in love with coaching. I had one of my leaders was a coach, and she really taught me about coaching and about, yes, you can change your mindset and law of attraction and all the things. And so I really started doing a lot of deep work on myself at that point. And just learning how you can change your brain, you can change your mindset, you can change all these different things that will attract different things, better things to you in your life. So that's kind of how I started my journey of confidence. And now I'm a confidence transformation coach, and I help women, to see that they are worthy and they have value to bring, and they can use their voices in the world to share and make changes and help other people too.
My gosh, that's extraordinary. And I love you. You are probably like me in that you jump into the deep end in order to overcome. Would that be accurate?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know what that is, but there's just something about, I know for me, to get out of my holdback, I got into acting and singing. And that wasn't why I got into it, but that's what got me put up and like, okay, I'm willing to make a fool of myself.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just, it sounds like you did that with the passion parties, and I'm impressed that you just jumped in.
I did.
My God. Well, let's talk about, you mentioned some things that to you and me are really obvious, but not to everybody else. So let's talk about law of attraction and what that really is
Mhm.
and how you bring that into your coaching.
Yeah. So one of the ways I do it is I also teach visioning, vision boarding. Um, and so I know a lot of people who do vision boards, they do like a couple hours and they throw a board together and then call it a day. And there's nothing wrong with that. But how I've navigated my own journey on vision boards. I used to do that too. I started with a 2 hour, and then I moved to a 4 hour, and then pretty soon it was a full day, and now it's 2 days where we really dive in first on the first day of mindset stuff, right? And law of attraction. Because if we're constantly thinking, I'm not worthy of that, I don't deserve that. If we have all of our fears and limiting beliefs getting in the way, telling us we can't have the amazing love that we want, or to do international retreats or whatever that big vision that we have is, then we're never going to get there because, like the law of attraction says, what we think about, we bring about, right? What we focus on, we get more of. So if you're focusing on not being worthy, if you're focusing on, I don't have the value to bring, or I can't have that, you're going to keep getting those roadblocks in your way. Things are going to keep popping up that veer you off course. So we do a lot of rewiring of the beliefs and helping them to feel more worthy, helping them to feel that, yes, you can have all of these things that you want to put on your board, and let's even dream even bigger. And then making the vision boards from that. And so the law of attraction, the law of attraction says, you're thinking about these things, you're thinking about, yes, I can have these things. You're looking at your board, and I'm looking up because my vision board is right above my computer. But
And my podcast is on it. No, I'm kidding.
yeah, so you're seeing, like, you're looking at your vision board and going, yeah, I can have those things. You're starting to believe in yourself more. You're starting to believe that you can attract the things that you really deeply desire. So, yeah.
I think that for my money, that is one of the things that is the hardest to overcome. Not the, how do I put this? We have been trained to believe that we are just the way we are, and that either there's something wrong with us that we have to fix, or that we're just not really able to make the changes that we want to make in our
Hmm.
minds or in our emotions.
Yeah.
And when you come up against that, as I'm sure you must in people, um, what do you find is the most compelling thing that helps them get through that basic block of like, I don't, can I really change?
Mm. I start to ask them questions, asking them deep questions about, where do we think that this belief came from? Do you really believe that, you can't change? Asking them these deep questions to get them to go deeper and deeper into themselves, and to really look at too, what is that big vision? And let's start moving you towards that, and let's start believing that you can have that. And a lot of people, I love affirmations, but something that blocks people sometimes with affirmations is moving too quickly. So, for example, when I was shy, right? When I was very shy,
Yep,
for me to say I'm super confident, I'm a confident woman, would have been so far outside of reality that
right,
my
totally.
brain wouldn't believe it, right? So our brains don't know the difference between what's real and imagined, but you also can't trick it sometimes so far from, like, I'm broke to I'm $1 million business owner. That's a really big leap. So we
Yeah.
have to kind of like work our way into it sometimes. So it could be something like, um, I'm gaining more and more confidence every single day. I'm more and more abundant every day. Things like that. So that you're slowly but surely moving yourself in that right direction, and your brain isn't cutting you off before you even get started.
I don't hear a lot of people talk about that, but I'm, of course, as you know, on the same trajectory with my
Yeah.
work, because there's there's no way to go fast if you want to go fast. You have
Hmm.
to go slow to go fast.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very feminine thing. I think that for us to not be always goal oriented, but to be process oriented, like literally giving birth to ourselves,
Mm.
is such a feminine way to look at personal growth, and it's certainly not one that I hear enough of. So I
Yeah.
appreciate you
I love that idea too of giving birth to yourself. Like, you're constantly birthing the next
constantly.
version of yourself. Yeah.
Just you just it's like bigger and bigger and more, but it's not like bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's just
Yeah.
too much.
Hmm.
It's more like the ocean waves coming in. You
Yeah.
know, if you've ever been by the ocean, then you know that it's not like unless there's like a major storm. It's
Right.
more like
Yeah.
what a concept. I've been a speed demon my whole life, and I've been coming out of that for the last like 5 years.
Yeah. Me too.
And
It's hard to
yeah,
slow down when you've been used to full speed ahead.
oh my goodness. Um,
Hmm.
you know, I see things now in a very particular way. I see that there is a social setting that we've put our minds, our emotions, our spirituality, and everything into, and I call it masculine only. Now, it's not like the divine masculine, unfortunately. It's more like the toxic masculine ideas of that limit women and, make us feel less than. And I wonder what you think of how to approach our spirituality or our religion from this perspective without frying ourselves, because we really want to take a journey forward into whatever our freer beliefs are without shooting on ourselves and
Hmm.
hurting ourselves. So, what do you think about that, particularly when it comes to religion and spirituality?
About how to, I want to make sure I'm understanding your question.
How, well, when we question, when we question our spirituality, when we question our religion, when we say, I'm at a certain point with this where I feel like I'm not growing anymore, or we get to a place where we say, I can believe in this part, but the other part, I'm like, I'm not with it.
Hmm.
Um, and most people, I think, although I don't know, I haven't talked to most people on the planet, um, are hesitant to do that. They may have those thoughts and they may talk to their girlfriends about it, but what it take for my money, what it takes to really question things so that you get your own personal confidence and your own freedom and your own authenticity sometimes requires going up against some real sacred cows that are
Mm.
cows of your own.
Yeah. Yeah, I think questioning questioning the beliefs, when things come up, instead of taking your own beliefs or anybody else's beliefs, whether that's, it could be a religion or a spirituality, is asking how true is that really? Is that thought that I just had, is that really true? I find this a lot with my clients, and I we went through this in my visioning event where the women were like, well, if I'm rich, if I make a lot of money, that means that I'm this kind of person, like I'm a bad
Mm,
person. Because that's what they've experienced in their life, is like maybe their siblings or something are wealthy and they are not helping other people, or they're hoarding it for themselves, or they're using it in bad ways. And so they feel like, well, if I make a lot of money, that means that that's what I'm going to be like. And so I really have to like work with them and say, do just the fact that you think that you're going to be greedy, or that you're worried about being greedy if you make more money, is telling enough that you're not going to be that, right? That you're
right.
worried about it. And so really, really helping them to see that their desire to have enough or more than enough doesn't mean that they're going to be this person that they've seen in their life. That, maybe other wealthy people are this certain way, but that means that they can give more to other people. So maybe there's charities that they want to support. Maybe there's family members
Right.
that they would like to give back to. That's, getting to them to think about, what would you do with your money if you had more wealth, instead of living to paycheck or having to scrounge for money to pay your bills. What if you had an abundance? What would you do with it? Well, I would help my sister who's struggling, or I would help my child who's, having a hard time, or I would give it back to this charity that's really important to me. So it's really helping them to see, this isn't who you are. This is who you are. And if you had more, you could do more with it. Those kinds of things. So helping them to really dig into those beliefs and question those beliefs.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I find that with the unraveling or the untying of one knot, then there's another knot to untie.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting my clients and getting myself to keep leaning into freedom,
Yeah.
leaning into ease, leaning into feeling good, because we've been taught to not feel good, but make other people feel good
Mm-hmm.
is really important.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah. I think that's a good point too, is that we think that we can't feel good. We have to make other people feel good, but that we somehow aren't allowed to do that for ourselves.
Oh my gosh. And then the way that religion has been set up as a general thing, one of the main strains of it is that this emphasis on giving. And
Mm-hmm.
giving is a beautiful thing and it feels fantastic. But if you
Mm-hmm.
don't include yourself, it just desiccates you. It just makes you become brittle after a while and you
Yeah.
get into bad situations. This is what I've seen.
Yeah.
It, the people who dare to question find more and more space within their religion and their spirituality to be who they are.
Mm, I love
And
that.
my spiritual mother says, let me see, let me see if I'm going to say this right, but religion is like the apple on the tree. And people point at it and they keep trying to describe it. No, that's the wrong way. I'm sorry, it has to do with, oh, that's what it is. The sun is spirit. Let's pretend like the sun is spirit. And so people who are awakened, enlightened, will point at that. And everybody looks at the finger instead of what they're pointing at.
Mm, hmm.
I think that's a remarkable thing. And I want to see the sun.
Yeah,
Yeah. So can we have a heart moment?
sure.
I love that we have the same glasses ish.
Me too.
Oh my God. So I'd like to pop out the lenses and just use these and pretend I have lenses in it, but
Right?
so what do you let's talk a little bit. Let's have a conversation about women and what it is that we can focus on, that is light filled to move us out of this idea that, oh my God, I'm stuck. Because honestly, I mean, when it comes down to it, we can be stuck for a while, no lie. Been there, done that a lot.
Yeah.
But once you see from a certain perspective and you learn what works for you to get you out of stuckness and into more flow again, then you're like, oh my God, I didn't know I had that power. Um, for me, I think that the biggest problem, again, I think I already mentioned this, but I think the biggest problem is just this conditioning. This is the way life is, this is the way everything is. And also that we think we're supposed to focus on what's wrong with us in order to get right.
Mm, hmm.
So when you're bringing all of your light and your assistance to people, what are some of the forms that you can recommend focusing on the light?
Mm. So I think focusing on what you have to bring. And sometimes that's really hard to do because we don't see it in ourselves. Um, so maybe thinking about how have I helped other people? Even if it's just your friends, family members, it doesn't have to be in business if you're in business. Um, how have I helped other people? What have people said to me in terms of how I've helped them? You know, because
And that does what for them or for us when we say how they helped.
yeah, it helps to see what value you have. Because we often think, I don't have any value to bring. I don't have any, what light,
Mm,
right? We don't see like,
right.
you know, um, and if you have some very good friends or family members who you trust, you can ask them, how have I helped you? What do you see
Right.
in me that I might not see in myself? Because other people see so much more in us than we see in ourselves because we're so bogged down with our own thoughts, our negative thoughts about ourselves. We're judgmental. We're our own worst critics. And so we tend to be very mean to ourselves, take away the things that we've done, the things that we've accomplished, the ways we've helped people. We
Yeah.
diminish things in us, in ourselves, and we only focus on the things that we didn't get done, the things that we didn't do right, right? We're just beating ourselves up and we get into this vicious cycle. So allowing ourselves to be able to see how have I helped other people? What value do I have? And that can be very challenging sometimes because it's very hard to see that in ourselves.
And then sometimes when we do, we have not been able to or been taught how to really make it our own.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, that's very nice of you to say, but there's sort of this, that's nice of you to say, you're probably delusional. you
Right.
know.
Yeah. Or you're just saying that to make me feel better, or we kind of diminish things other people say too. So really working on trying to take that in and really hear it and really, really absorb it.
Well, I want to explore something. So you said some magic words. For me, they're magic because they are sort of the masculine only in plain view. So we don't see them, we don't define it. And it's the work. Now, I remember when I got into spirituality in the 80s, and I was told all about spirituality, right? Now I know everything now. But it was just one of those things was like, trust your heart, whatever that meant. I mean, was like, I don't understand what that means. Just have faith, didn't know what that meant for me. Um, and you have to do the work. So instantly, because we are in this culture where to do work of any kind, you have to effort. You have to work
Mhm.
super hard. It's that toxic, goal seeking, mean to yourself thing. And I don't think that that's the kind of work that you do with your
Mm-mm.
clients at all. And so, why don't we explore what it is that we can tell people so that they can start to really embody a little bit of mercy? If you can't be totally kind to yourself, can you have a little mercy,
Yeah.
you know, a little
Yeah.
compassion?
Hmm. Yeah, it's so important, and it's also very hard for us as women
I know.
because we've been conditioned by society that we have to work super, super hard, and we have to,
Yep.
it's drilled into us how hard we have to work and no rest, right? Like, I hate that saying, you can sleep when you're dead. Like, stop saying that, please.
Please, you're going to be more awake when you're dead. So come on, let's not talk.
Yeah. So, it's we tend to push ourselves to past our max and then get sick. And I have, I have to say I've done that to myself. I'm guilty of that for sure. And I've had to learn, especially the last few years, really like, okay, my body's tired, rest. Don't keep
Right,
pushing forward,
right.
Um, take that time to rest and don't beat yourself up for that, right? You're a human being. Be compassionate with yourself. Maybe, I'm going through a hard time. Be compassionate with myself. Have some give myself some grace to heal, right? So there's so many things that can happen to us in life that we can go through, and it's so important for us to take the time to heal, to take a step back, to really be compassionate, because we can be so hard on ourselves, like, why am I not further along, why has this happened, blah 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 blah. It's like, well, let's see, you went through a very traumatic thing, you've had a lot of
Right.
grief, you've had all the
Right.
things. So really just try to say, you know what, baby girl, it's okay, you need to take care of you, and that's what you're doing. And that's what's most important right now, is to just really give yourself that grace and compassion that you need in order to heal and keep moving forward when it's time.
You're reminding me of a couple of things. One is inspired action.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't move until you feel that forward, the thing, that urge, that inspiration, um, to just do the next thing. And that, because that comes from your energy, that comes from your birthing of you, then it's
Yeah.
always going to be the right direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm thinking also, how many stories have we heard of people going through, especially women going through massive things, like Sharon Stone having strokes and being, I think all of her money was taken from her by her partner. I mean, Sharon Stone, I mean, she's like one of the most famous, amazing actors. She's an incredible woman. And she had to come back. She had to come back from all of that.
Yeah.
And because she came back, she learned things she would never have learned another way. So we
Right.
need to give ourselves that as well, that we learn, not that we have to get sick, but that we have to understand what comes from slowing down, from
Yeah.
opening, resting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. The rest of it I've tried. I tried to be an entrepreneur for a good 25 years and I pushed the hell out of myself.
Yeah.
And it basically did nothing for me other than exhaust me and frustrate me. And I
Hmm.
think there are a lot of women out there still trying that.
Yeah.
So, how would you recommend that a woman who is like really still pushing and would really rather not, how should she get started to sort of ease the foot off the pedal, you know? Is there like a piece of advice? I think that's a hard question I'm asking you, but I'm asking.
Yeah. I think I think checking in with your body is really important. If
Okay.
you're feeling exhausted, if your brain is fried, don't keep pushing right now. Take some time. Maybe go for a walk, maybe take a nap, maybe ground in the grass or go look at the flowers, just something to help release some of that stress and to be able to bring it down. And maybe you need a few hours off, maybe you need a day, maybe you need a week, just
Yep.
keep asking your body, what do I need right now? Because I know that I can feel like I can get tensed, right? I can get
Oh yeah,
stressed.
easily.
And
Yeah.
it's like instead of just keep going, what do I need right now? What does my body need right now?
The one thing I want to add to that, because yes, you've got to be tuned into yourself
Hmm.
100%, is giving yourself good feedback about the experience. Like, first of all, to understand that when I slow down, I can hear, I can let inspiration, intuition, happen.
Yeah.
I'm not trying so hard that I can't let anything else in.
Hmm.
And then also, I feel better. And letting yourself ask the question, why does it matter if I feel better? And then answer it because it's
Mm.
important.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we deserve to feel good. Like that's one thing too, is that I think it's also drilled into us that we must work very hard and it doesn't matter how we feel, like we deserve to
Right.
feel.
Confidence is an interesting one. By the way, I'm thinking about all of us women who end up in different settings with men who either might not want to talk to us or might not want to hear us, or, we feel or have done nothing wrong and we just have an emotional setting of feeling awkward or whatever. And I like to think that and to teach that the power is really with us.
Hmm.
If we go into a meeting, for instance, with somebody that we're like, I'm sure that person doesn't like me, to instead of making it all your fault, all your responsibility, make yourself feel a little better. Look at somebody who does like you.
Mm.
Or if you are looking at that one person and that's the only person in the room, you have to find a way to address your concerns within yourself before you have that meeting. Because
Hmm.
you're really showing them externally, and then it is heightened, I think, by the
Yeah.
other person.
Yeah.
Would, do you agree with that or not?
Yeah. It's hard when you feel like somebody doesn't like you, to be in the same room. Um, and I think it comes down to being confident in who you are and not worrying as much about what other people think.
Can you define confidence? I have a definition I came up with, but I'm curious to hear what yours is.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's feeling that deep self-worth, that you have value to bring, that you allow yourself to shine, that you're allowing yourself to be who you are and to bring all of who you are to what you do. Um, yeah, and just feeling good about who you are and sharing that with the world, being confident in that.
100%. I wonder what you'll think of my sort of interim definition, which is knowing that what you know is all that you know right now, and that's
Mhm.
enough because
Yeah.
you'll know more tomorrow, and
Hmm.
you can't know what you're going to know tomorrow today.
Yeah.
So not feeling like, because to me that takes away the comparison stuff.
Hmm. That's important.
Yeah. Is there anything that I have not asked you that you would like to share?
Um, I don't think so. I think
No?
we've shared a lot of good stuff.
Cool. So if people want to work with you, I'm going to be able to share your information with them.
Mhm.
If you want to speak it out loud right here, feel free. Otherwise, we could just I'll put it in the description of the podcast.
Yeah. So I'm very easy to find. I'm the only Erin Summ on the planet. So you just look me up, you'll find me, you'll find my website, social medias. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all the places. So um,
Awesome.
yeah, and I have
Awesome.
a speaker series too, which is a free speaker series once a month. And Lori, I know you're going to be speaking on the next one, so I'm very excited. But it's the Empowered Woman Speaker Series. It's free. It's 90 minutes a month, and I have myself and three other speakers come speak about all things women empowerment. So all different topics.
Such important stuff. It is, I can't think of too much that's more important when it comes to building our bridge into the future than bringing the feminine in and showing ourselves what power we really have,
Yeah,
honestly.
we are
Any
powerful.
last words to leave our listeners with, our viewers with?
Yeah, I just want to remind you that you're good enough. You're worthy just as you are, and you deserve all the things that you want and desire in your life. And um, get out there and stop playing small. Get out there and shine your light bright, and make your impact in the world that you are called to make.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Totally beautiful. Erin, this is delightful. I so appreciate you being here
Thank you. Thanks for
and
having me.
sharing your light.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, well, thank you guys for being here. You know how to get in touch with Erin. I'll put any other information that she and I get together afterwards in the description, and keep busting out because everything you think about what you can or can't do, you're right. So
Yeah.
let's believe we can.
Yes. Thank you.